no. Oh no. Oh no. Yo, that's right. I have a pop socket. Yo, communication. Getting it out there. That's what this video is all about. What up? My name is Gabriel Mark. This is Download the Uplift, a place where when we fall, we try and uplift you. And in this video, I want to dive right into communicating, all right? And communication and how important it is. I'm someone that sometimes, you know, whether it's an email or a phone call or a text, in my past, I'd be like, yo, this is way too awkward. I don't want to deal with this. But in reality, y'all, in communication in this world, when we don't communicate and we keep things like, oh, it's just gonna blow over, or oh, I don't want to deal with this right now, we're not building bridges, yo. You are actually not building bridges, you're building walls. And the more you keep these things to yourself and you let them build up and you don't communicate how you're feeling, then these walls are going to be harder for you to break down. Now listen, communication is the backbone to everything, whether it's your friends, your colleagues at work, relationships, loved ones, family, whatever it is. I personally have had times when I was like, yo, I don't want to deal with this right now, and I would just like avoid it. But I've noticed that every time I get a text or a phone call, if I can, and if it's appropriate, I just like, all right, let's get this done, or let's handle it like it needs to be handled, because it shows that A, you got respect for who's hitting you up, or yourself for being able to answer. And it also shows at least there's no more stones unturned. At least you have things ironed out. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 easy steps to maximize and to crush your communication goals. So come with me, won't you? So number 1, like I said in the opening, let's think of communication as a bridge. Even if it's awkward, even if it's something you don't want to deal with or bring up, that will help you create a path for understanding the situation with whoever you're communicating it with. It will help, hey, even if it's awkward or even if it's something you don't want to address, at least once it's out there, you can move forward in the next stage of what you're trying to communicate with that person or whatever with. If you don't have that bridge, then it's just going to be built up and it's just going to put up more barriers and it's going to get thicker and thicker and thicker. And that's when things are just going to go wrong. So think of communication as a bridge, and let's get walking across that bridge, baby. Number 2, it's the power of honest, considerate communication. So have you ever heard the phrase like, dude, I'm going to be brutally honest here? Well, sometimes that's okay, but if you're going to have to break some news or address something that's actually going to literally crush someone or hurt someone, that's not cool. So you need to understand that you want to speak clearly and you want to get your point across, but be super mindful of like, hey, this potentially could have like repercussions. Like this potentially could actually hurt somebody. You know what I mean? Like, once again, this channel, it's not about being like, yo, be strong with yourself. But these are tasks and tips and all my videos to help you be a stronger person all around. Still, when you are communicating, be clear, get your point across, just be mindful that, hey, especially if they're heavy things, you are going to want to be mindful and you want to try and be kind and focus on being as direct as you can without like adding extra fuel and being a jerk, basically. So number 2 is the power of honest, considerate communication. The number 3 tip to being a good communicator, and yo, I actually have a reminder on my phone. I have so many reminders. It's just active listening. Yo, I think it's, what's the thing, like 80-20, like listen 80% of the time and speak 20. Not only do I try and practice slowing down, making clear remarks, like think of all of your favorite heroes or anti-heroes like Thomas Shelby or any I just watched Peaky Blinders. It's amazing. Thanks, Joe Rogan, for the tip, by the way. Or anti-heroes or Tony Soprano or I think Jon Snow, or a lot of these heroes or these big characters, they speak slowly because they want, with pauses, and they want to get their point across, right? So when you're delivering this, be clear and all that, but it's more about listening, not just like, oh yeah, Oh, yeah. Okay. Sweet. Yo, listen to what they're saying. I don't mean to quote Will Smith in Hitch, but he was right. Especially when you're talking to like a young lady. Actually, scratch that. Whoever you're talking to, show them the respect from actually listening what they have to say. Like, don't let them just ramble on and you not have a response. Shoot, sometimes when Dane and I have a podcast, I'll start looking at my notes or something and I'll have to have him repeat it. And I feel like such a jerk because I have so much respect of what we're trying to do with this channel, but sometimes like my mind might wander. So yo, actively listen. That's our third step to being a great communicator. Listen to what they have to say, process it. Don't just put out word salad, and deliver something thoughtful of what they have to say. It shows respect for just being a good communicator and what they're talking about. Number 4 to being a good communicator is just all about timing. We're going to say it's that timing matters. Now, this is so important. Like, if it's you and your homeboy that you just want to like chop it up with, but then you know that things need to be a little bit more serious, wait till you guys are like alone. Don't bring it up in a crowd of people. If it's something between you and a loved one, don't bring it up in front of a crowd of people. Also, timing wise, yo, if you guys are about to go to blows and tensions are super high, that's not maybe it's time to get a little space and you don't want to get right into these serious talks or sit downs. You know what I mean? Think about the conversation, especially if it's a serious one, and make sure that the timing's right. I mean, this is basic common sense, I guess, I hope. But if you have something really important to talk about, try and make it where it's the right time and the right place where you both will be able to, like, yo, if you're hammered at the club with the music going or a sports bar with a game going, that's not a good time to have a real serious talk. Or maybe it is if it's a win or a loss and the emotions are high. I don't know. Either way, every single situation is going to be unique. So just remember the number 4, timing matters. And finally, number 5 is your nonverbal communication. If you're looking at your phone, oh my gosh, it's such a pet peeve. I mean, I don't like if you're talking to someone and they're actively scrolling, like, yo, that is so disrespectful. That's such a jerk move. Think about your body language. Like, I am big on eye contact, and I wasn't when I was younger, but you know, as we grow and we mature, we understand how important that is. Even me staring at this little webcam right here. That's right, it's a sweet webcam. I'll upgrade eventually. I know I'm a little grainy, but yo, think about your physical form and what you're doing when you're communicating with somebody. So number 5 to be an effective communicator is just pay attention to your nonverbal communication as well. I'll say this. I don't answer numbers I don't know most of the time unless I'm expecting one from, you know, like a bank or something. Like, yo, sometimes it's going to be awkward. Sometimes you don't want to do it. But even if you just fire off like, yo, I'm busy, I can't really chat right now. Or, you know what? I used to bartend, or you might have been to a bar. Isn't it the worst when you can't get the bartender's attention and they won't even look at you? I found out that even when we were busy, taking that drink napkin, spinning it down in front of them, be like, yo, I'll be right with you. That little form of communication went so far because you feel like, okay, they saw me. So even when you get texts, you're like, I don't want to deal with this. Send something back like, hey, I'm not really available to chat right now. But eventually, if you can, and especially even if it's someone you don't want to talk to, okay, I get it, but try and just say something to end it so you're not leaving people hanging. You're being relatively respectful if they deserve your respect. Only if they do. If they don't deserve your respect, block them or get rid of them out of your life. I'm going to have a whole video about changing your number. If they don't add to your life, get them out of there. But I'm going to go for a full tangent, maybe next week, about why you should change your number. Communicate effectively with these 5 easy steps, and don't forget that your future is bright. Keep up the good work, praise God often, and keep moving forward and upwards. My name is Gabriel Mark. This is our weekly video of Download the Uplift, a place where when we fall, we try and uplift you. Have a blessed week, y'all.